gonna drop it down to second gear. It's right around, it's gonna build up to 5,000 RPM, and you're gonna honk and then punch it.
Hey, hey. Catch a case, don't snitch, that's Mando. Ride for your click, that's Mando. Rope hit a lick, that's Mando. Always with the shits, that's Mando. Hey, that's Mando.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. Rush SRT here, back yet again with another one. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to race your Challenger. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably already know how to do this, but I do get quite a bit of questions asking me how I'm able to do so well when I'm racing other cars such as Mustangs or Camaros. And honestly, it's all about using your car properly. And the number one mistake I see guys doing when they're racing is that they try to use either the paddle shifters or they try to manually shift their car using, you know, the gear selector here by upshifting and downshifting and thinking that's going to make the car quicker. That's actually the worst way to do it, and that's how I used to lose a lot of the races when I first got the car, because our car is equipped with the 8-speed ZF transmission, and this transmission is absolutely amazing. It's very quick. It knows what gear to be in and how to extract the most power out of that 392. So I can't talk because my mouth is so dry, so I need to get something to drink. Oh my God, holy crap. That was higher than I expected. So I'm gonna jump in there and grab something to drink. I'm gonna keep the car in the shade here because it is sunny outside. Alrighty guys, so I got my 2 drinks here, my Monster. 2-for-1 deal, what can I say? Gotta get it done. So we're gonna go ahead and open the blue one, or actually the white one. The white one, because your boy is thirsty and it's a very hot day in Cali. There we go. Alrighty guys, so now we are good to get back into it. Let's go ahead and talk about how I race the Challenger. So before I continue here, let me go ahead and go over the settings I use. So when I'm racing from a dig, there are certain settings I put the car in. So I go into custom mode here, suspension's on track. The transmission should be on track as well. So transmission's on track, suspension is either on sport or street, depending. If I'm trying to go from a dig, I'll probably keep it on street so that the car can squat down and go. The steering is on sport. I don't like it to be too heavy, and the traction is either on street or it's completely turned off, just depending on the circumstances. If I'm racing from a roll, then I'll probably keep it on. But if I'm racing from a dig, sometimes I turn it off because it cuts power if the car starts losing traction. So I don't like that. So exactly those are my settings for the car when I am doing a roll race here. And then obviously a dig race and just a little bit of tweaks there, and that'll make it perfect. You can use like the preloaded stuff, kind of like the track and stuff like that, but that does turn off traction control to track mode, which makes it slip a little bit. And then sometimes having the hard suspension on the street is not really all that great. The car will kind of do a lot of balancing and shifting, stuff like that I'm not too big a fan of. So that's why you should just make your own custom mode. If you are a scat pack, then you don't even need any of this. Probably you just have sport and default. I think that's how they come. So don't worry about it too much. So now that we talked about the settings, let's go ahead and take a ride, and we can show you exactly how it's all done play by play. So let me roll out of the gas station here. So the transmission is currently in track, so it's going to be a lot more aggressive in shifting the car in gears. It's going to hold the gears a little longer too. You will notice that immediately. Okay, now let's go ahead and pretend like we're going to roll race someone. So obviously you want to pick the speed that you're going at, And if you have a 392, then it's smart to try to do a 40 roll, because 40 roll is actually one of the stronger points of the 392. That's where it really shines. It has a lot of torque in that range, and it really packs a punch off a 40 roll. So we're about to hit it. Well, it's a green light, so that's good. There's a red light for a moment there, but let me get to my Mexico location here so we can go ahead and open it up a little bit, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. Okay, here we go. We're about to be in Mexico now, and let me tell you how I go about this. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and make sure that you can use the paddle shifters. So as you can see, my paddle shifters are on right here. And then from a 40 roll, you want to downshift to second gear. You want to be in second gear if you're doing a 40 roll. So the car put me in first gear right now because it's in auto mode. Okay guys, so you want to do a 40 roll. So you want to drop your speed down to 40, start downshifting. So fifth gear, fourth gear, third gear. And now we're under 40, so we're going to drop it down to second gear. It's right around, it's going to build up to 5,000 RPM. And you're going to honk and then punch it. Now, if you've noticed, when I punched it, the car was actually rising up in the RPMs and shifting gears all on its own. So it was going into the next gear as soon as it hits the red line, and it would go for the very next gear. If you were to put the car in manual mode using the stick shift right here, or the gear lever, then it's not going to upshift for you, which means that you're going to hit the rev limiter and the car is going to run out of steam and pretty much bog because it can't go any faster in that gear. So you want to make sure that you are downshifting using your paddle shifters. But after you downshift into that gear, make sure that the car is not in manual mode. Leave the car in drive and just downshift using the paddles and let it do the upshifting on its own. You can't outshift an 8-speed. It's going to be faster than you every single time. So if you try to use the paddle shifters, you are going to lose pretty much every single time versus the computer of the car. It's just going to be a little quicker than you. It knows exactly when to time the shifts and when to hit that next gear to use, you know, the maximum power of the car. So that's just how to do it from a roll. So if you are doing a 40 roll, you want to be in second gear. If you're doing a 20 roll, you want to be in first gear. And if you're doing a 60 roll, I usually am in third gear. Those are the ratios that have worked for me. They might be a little different for you, but usually they should be just the same. So now I'm gonna go ahead and discuss how to do things from a dig, because I know that's very important. A lot of people want to know how to properly race a car off the dig. And this one is one you want to pay attention to. So let me take the car out of my custom mode now. We're gonna adjust the settings one more time and go at it differently this time. Okay guys, so now it's time to dig race. In order to get the car set up for a dig race, you're gonna go into custom mode, and this is what you want to do as a setup here. So you want the transmission, you can keep that in track. Your traction, you can keep it in street. Suspension, keep it in street, and steering in sport. The reason we're leaving the suspension in street is that so the car can do a little squat and it's not super stiff when you are trying to launch it. So that's how I do it, and that's how you guys should be doing it too. So there's a lot of cars coming down here, so I need to move on it. So once you have those settings dialed in, now the next step is to go ahead and turn off traction control completely so that you can do a little warm up of the tires here, and what that will allow you to do, oh my god, those cars are super sick. I don't know if you guys can see them, but old school whips, very nice. Sorry guys, get distracted easily. But now that we went ahead and turned off traction control, we're gonna do a small little burnout just to warm up the tires and clean them off if there's anything that is stuck to them. So this will give you like the maximum opportunity to catch some traction. So I'm going to show you that in a second here. So once you have everything set up, you want to go ahead and turn off your traction control. So you just want to hold it down until it's completely off. And let's go. You can go. So once it's completely off, you want to do just a little warm up of the tires. So just pick a good spot to do it. So I'm just going to pick right here. I'm going to stop the car, hold the brakes a little bit, and then just kind of just a little something to get those tires warmed up, to get any dirt off of them. And then after you do that, your tires should be nice and warmed up. So now we're gonna pull up to an area where we can go ahead and do a little launch. So this area right here seems good. So now we're gonna stop the car completely. You're gonna turn traction control back on, so just like that. Hold the brakes, build up the RPMs to 2 grand, and go. And there you go. That was a little launch. Not sure how fast we did 0 to 60 right there, but we'll check it. My tire pressures are really high. That was a 4.7. Obviously, I didn't go too crazy on it because I'm not racing anyone, but using that exact technique, I would been able to get the best of a 3.7. When I'm a little more aggressive on the car, I can get a solid like 4-second run just about every time. But it is a little hot out. I don't want to beat on it too much. It's 86 degrees outside, and I'm not really racing anyone, so I just wanted to demonstrate how to get off the line. So when you build up the RPMs to 2000 RPM, you go ahead and load the drivetrain of the car, and that way there's less chance of you spinning the moment you mash the throttle. But the key is not to be too aggressive right off the bat, because if you do, you're going to spin, you're going to break traction. So the key is to get the car to hop forward, and the moment it does, that's when you roll into the rest of the throttle and just keep going. So you know, that's kind of what's worked for me. Hopefully that'll work for you guys. Obviously I'm running a 315 tire in the back, which helps out quite a bit. But you can kind of use this technique and see how well you can do. And I just went through some water, and my car was just washed yesterday. Damn it. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Just a way to get the car, you know, to perform the best that it can. So next time you're out there racing, try out these techniques, see if they work for you. If you do, make sure you come back here and tell me what you think of the results. And hopefully I'll see you guys in another video. Rush SRT signing out. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
1, 2